Somerset's a total blast. One die to cut them all. Oh, how neat. Perfect cutouts can't be beat. Stamp and smile, you're feeling bold. Let your summer stories unfold. It's Meg's Gnomes, Summer Splash. Making magic with the Gnomey stash. Craft your heart out, have a blast. Only at not too shabby, better grab it fast. Sun sand stamps, oh what a day. Gnome sweet gnome, the crafty way. Meg's Gnome Summer Splash. Get inky, stay cheeky, add these gnomes to your stash.
Okay, get that out of the way. Hello everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Looks like there's still a little delay, so I'm just going to wait until I hear some chatter. Because last time I did a live, no one could hear me. So I am a little nervous. I've been watching the coloring. It's been fantastic. And so let's see how this goes. There we go. I see. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to watch the chat too much because it really throws me off that it's such a delay. So I will try my best. Hopefully Lynn can help me answer some questions. Answer any questions that have. But I am going to be coloring this stamp that was illustrated by Meg Brader. It is fantastic. It has 3 gnomes. As you've seen, we've already had the Fisherman by Jamie. We had Sandy do the Surfer. And I am going to be doing this adorable mermaid. She is absolutely adorable. And the neat thing is, and I can't show you, so sorry about that. I lost it somewhere in my room. There is a die that cuts all of these. One die cuts all 3, and that's really cool. So because I lost it in my room somewhere, we're just going to color. We're not going to be as ambitious as Sandy and create a card. That's a lot. What I will do is, I've already gone and colored it 4 times just to kind of get practice. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to randomly pick a color and then work with it. So this is the one that we saw in the preview. It's just some reds and some different colors there. I went and did it in a different, more purplish, bluish green. I've also tried it in more earthy tones. And then this one was just, the colors were so out there, but not bad. I don't know if I like the orange fin. Maybe switch that up. Maybe it would look a little better, but I think that's kind of neat. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see if I can get this showing up. I've already randomly selected while Sandy was chatting because I wanted to prepare. So these are the colors that I'm going to be working, and hopefully you can see those colors on my screen there. No, you can't. There we go. So those are the colors we're going to be working with. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little stamp set here. I will move those colors out of the way once I start coloring. I just want to see them so that when I'm swatching, I know what I'm working with. The paper that I'm going to be using, I believe it is some that I took from a friend. I was coloring at her house. Julia, she might be in the chat. I was coloring at her house and I took a sheet. So these are the paper. I think it's like a Spectrum Noir. I think that's what it is. I normally use, I have a ream of Expressive, I believe, paper. It's the one that was recommended a little while ago. But you use the paper that you like to use. And then the ink I'm using is just this one, Maker Forte. I don't think they sell it anymore, but I have it, so it works really well. Memento is also a good choice. And then we'll just stamp this. And we're going to go really slow. We're going to take the full 45 minutes to color and just have some fun. I see some hearts. I don't have my glasses on. Hold on, I'll see if I can read that. Oh, that's actually a pretty good first impression. Perfect. Well, that's that. Okay, let's get some swatching done. Now, for these colors, I quote unquote randomly selected these colors. But really I kind of didn't because I needed to make sure that I could do it. So the first one, we have a dark, kind of a dark blue. So I'm just going to pull out my Olo marker swatch, and I'm thinking that this might be like a B46. So let's swatch that. Let's just see. So that all looks good. The next color, I'm thinking we're going to be doing, what does that say? A blue-green? No, it doesn't say blue-green, but let's try that. Does that look good? It's a little brighter, but that's fine. That works. This is just for inspiration. It doesn't mean you have to follow exactly. Then I'll just take my brightest yellow. I will remove this image. I'm just using it as a reference. This one's hard. This one's like a whipping. It calls papaya whip. I don't know what the heck that is. So I'm just going to try an OR. So these are the colors that I'm going to be working with. I'll try. The watch party is here. Hi, Roberta. Thank you for tagging me. I can see that from the distance. And then I'm going to use an R5, 05. This is going to be a very cheerful, bright color. Okay. Now, I am by no means an expert like Jamie, like Sandy, and definitely like Meg. So I am honored to have been able, or to have been asked to color these stamps. So I color because I love to. I have a hard time focusing on coloring, so when I was watching Sandy do it, it all makes sense, but I usually lose myself when I'm coloring. And so that's just how I color. So it's not going to be perfection, but that's exactly how I color, and that is perfect for me. So let's get coloring. I'm just going to see, please show your love for Sejr. Oh, thank you, Meg. Okay, now I color a little bit differently. You'll notice that I have these caps all off on my mat here. I'm trying something new. I find Olos bleed. They bloop a lot, so I'm trying something new. So I color a little bit differently. I take my lightest color first and then start adding my darkers just so I know where everything is. And that might just be because I'm new-ish at coloring, but that's just how I start. So I think I'll do the hair yellow. And so to start off with that, I will just get my lightest yellow that I want to use, which is going to be the Y11, and I'll just go over this whole thing. And I'm going to probably a little bit fast. I'm going to try to watch the time to make sure I don't go over, but I just want to make sure that we at least get this whole image done. And it's not going to be too hard. There's not too much to this image. There is a lot of small detail, so I'll try to remember to get it all in there. And I think I'm going to use my images as a reference because I keep forgetting. Okay, so I just do it like that to start off. Now with yellows, I do want to bring in more of a darker color because you want to have your dark and your light and your mid. And for those, I usually use an orange. It's kind of like an 05. This is where it kind of gets challenging because I'm blind and I can't see where all my pieces are. There we go. I just got new glasses and I officially have dual sight where I used to be able to see both far and close with my glasses, and now I can't. So, and I don't want to get the bifocals yet. I'm not ready. So I'm going to take these apart just because, bear with me, I'm trying something new. So I'm going to take my darkest, because when it comes to dark yellow, I usually go to the browns, which is this orange, and I'm just going to go and follow the lines. And I'm going to have shaky hands because I'm nervous. But I'm just going to go slightly following these lines wherever I think it's a dark area in the hair. So we'll go around here and there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. because we will go back over this to anywhere that doesn't look right. And I'm not looking for perfection. There's going to be spots that are missed with my coloring because that's just how I do it. And it always seems to work out for me. So that's just how it is. We'll do that, and then we'll go to the next color, which is a little bit lighter. And that's the 2-5. I zoomed right in, so I'm not used to having such a zoomed in mode, but I really like these stamps. I think these are really cute. If you like gnomes, these are fantastic, and they're perfect for the summer too. This mermaid makes me laugh. We all voted what we wanted to do, and I was late to vote, and luckily I did get the mermaid. I found it one of the easiest ones to color. And it's just cute. And so we'll just color that. Just slightly blending it, just kind of moving it in. And don't forget, I'm going to try to get to this one. So because that's such a bright color, I'm going to have that one as almost my mid-tone. You don't need to do so many layers of coloring. I just have the markers, so I want to. There's many different ways of getting the same type of effect with less colors. So I'm just going to start moving this in. I'm going to start filling in these little areas here. I missed down here with mine, but I can go back and get that. This is just my haphazard mind coloring way. It will work out in the end. And then I think this is my darker color I'm going to use. So I'm going to go back over that. And I'm just going to kind of just move along those lines, slowly moving up. And then just working with the flow. And then wherever it doesn't look right, I kind of just fix it. I'm not looking for realism here. Just whatever looks right. And then we'll go back to my Y2 because I was in 1-2 because I was in the wrong order. And this is just how I do my hair. Well, not my hair, but just the colors. Oh, just taking a look. You're welcome, Meg. You're welcome. Okay, and now that's pretty much it for the first layer. And then what I do is I just kind of go over this whole thing. Now, this is where it probably isn't great because the lightest color will blend everything out. Like it'll kind of mush it, but that's okay. That's why I go back over it. And I did miss a spot right there. Now, what I usually like to do is I like to really bring out my darkest color. I love doing this. I'm still practicing. So now that I'm kind of getting done, I'm going to get right in there and I'm just going to really accentuate these dark areas. For some reason right now I'm loving this, and you just don't need too much, just where it's really meant to be dark, usually where you put your first darkest color, and then that will help you with really breaking apart every piece of this hair. So you can just kind of go around. But I just love bringing in these dark colors. I don't even know how long I'm supposed to be on. 45 minutes? Is that what it's supposed to be? And then what I'll do is I'll just go back and follow these lines. I find oils are a little bit harder to get that fine line. That's why they kind of blend all over on me. If you use Copics, definitely way more control. But the oils have these nice colors. And they have less colors right now, so that's why I went with the Olos. But they are definitely a learning experience if you've never used them. Definitely have a paper towel always beside you. 45 minutes. Okay, and I feel like I'm going to add a little bit more color there. Kind of bring it up. Bring that up. Oops. So I hope you're all enjoying the hop. Love the tiny markers. Yeah, if you want me to see anything you write, definitely tag me. I'm in the chat, just tag me so I see that big red block, and then I know exactly if anyone says anything, it will catch my attention. But yeah, this is a lot of ink. So obviously I will get better and better with time. But this is fun. This is therapeutic to me. Just getting messy. And we're almost done with the hair. It's just this really blondie, yellowish, brown, orange hair. Let's smooth that in. Here we go. We got some hair. Okay. We'll move these to the side. And both, yeah. Next, we want to work on, I have red, so obviously I'm probably going to do the crab red. And then I have the OR1, I don't know. Let's work with the blue. So let's do something a little bit fun. We'll work with the two blues for the two types of blues, which was, what do we have? The dark one. And then we'll mix these two together. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do is grab my latest color of the blue that I want to play with. And I really don't think about it. I just have my color chart with me, and I just pick a color. This really helps using all the colors that I have, because I don't really care in the end. Like, it's going to be the color similar. It's going to be blue. It's going to be blue. It might be different shades, but I just pick whatever looks right on the chart as I'm coloring. And so we'll do a kind of a light wash with this light blue here. Just kind of giving a feel of how I want to color it. Maybe I'll color these water droplets too, since they're already blue. And then the other color is going to be this one. So I think the dark blue is going to be the darker areas. And we'll start with that one because we're going a little differently here. I'm just going to mark off where I'm going to be putting this. And I think I'm going to start in the back here and just kind of create that shadow. And I'm going to kind of do long strides because this is very scaly. It's very, like, there's a lot of lines in here. So I'm just going to kind of work that way in there. And then I'm going to add just a little bit in this area here, because it's still going to be blue in here. And then it's not going to make logical sense, but I'm going to add the blue back up here again. So I'm kind of doing the opposite of what I did before, where I said I do my lights and then I work my way down, because I haven't done my lights for my light blue yet, or a blue-green. So those are going to be the areas that are going to be the darkest, and I will probably bring in a dark black as well. I love the style of coloring. It's so approachable. Helps some of us. Yeah, definitely. If you find that you're just scatterbrained, and I don't say that in a negative way at all, this helps. At least for me. This is how I color. I just lay it out. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking my darker color. So this is the B04. So then a little bit of darker is the B07, and I'm going to mark that in this area. So I have a little crevice here. There's a little crevice right there. And I'm going to go along there. I'm going to go up the fin in the back and down the sides. And there's a little bit here too. So I'm going to make that the dark blue as well. These are very thin lines, so I'm going to do my best. I probably won't go over those again. And then I'll kind of just go around there. And I'll blend those out. Then I'm going to go to my B4, BG04. This is my blue-green. This is the main color that we picked. And this is a nice, bright, I love this color. So I'm kind of glad we got this one. And I'm just going to kind of smooth that out. I don't really need to worry about having the light color for the light blue or the blue-green, because I'm going to be merging this in with that dark blue somehow. And we'll figure that out when we get to that point. So I'm just following all the lines where I have already added all my color for the light blue, or sorry, the blue-green. And we'll work there. And then what we will do is we'll start merging into this dark blue. So I started with the B02, then I went to the darks. The next mid-tone would be the 4-3. And I'm just going to kind of stretch those out. And once again, it doesn't matter if you go all the way down or not. Don't be consistent. It doesn't look good if everything's consistent. It really doesn't. And we're just going to kind of just work our way into this light blue, or this blue-green. And then we'll figure out how to merge the two together. Sometimes the markers work in my favor, and sometimes we just need to add a little bit more. So don't worry about it. If it doesn't look right at first, it'll work out in the end. If not, you just start over. Right? I mean, what's 20 minutes of your time? You learned what you can't do. Okay. And then I will just take my latest blue and kind of just merge those in. And then this gives me the idea of how I'm going to have this colored. But as you see, I'm not really thinking too much about it. I just don't. I try, and then I just lose myself. So why put the effort? Why stress yourself out, I should say. Okay. And then you can see that it's not like the perfect blend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the light, like another blue-green. Something a little more colorful, still a little bright, but I'm just going to kind of merge that into that, so that it's not so noticeable. There we go. And then now what I'll do is I'll bring in my dark colors that I had before to just really highlight where the depth is. And once again, Sandy had made a good point about this. We really should, if you let it dry a bit, I think that's what she said. If you let it dry, then it doesn't, it's a little bit easier to work with. But I'm not letting it dry. Definitely don't be afraid to experiment. No, this is all fun. I love doing this. I love playing with color. I love seeing what I create. And like I said, we all have our strengths and how we approach things, and we only get better with time. So the more you play, the more you can get those really better skills. Now this is going to be really dark. I'm just going to add just a little bit of black here. Yeah, and then we'll go, just really want to make sure these are nice and dark. Okay, so that's like a black blue that I was using. Oh. And then we'll put some just here. Just inside these lines. There we go, just in the very back, because that's the furthest point away. And then we just blend it all out. So I think I have like, now look at that. See, it looks really nice. I love it. And it looks really nice with, because we did that first coat of the very 02 in the front. So it has this white and light blue. It's really nice. And we'll just darken this up, kind of going under here, really making sure that that looks further away. And then we'll bring in our blues. We want to make sure that this blue really stands out. This one right here. So we're going to kind of fill that in, bring that up, really make it. There we go. And just, I'm choosing the wrong one. I meant to say the dark one here. There we go. And then we'll just back down here. Now you can see why I don't keep the lids tight. Like I leave them open because of that very reason of if I close them, then they start to bloop. So that's the thing I'm trying out. It was recommended to me to try not putting the caps on just so that by the way I color, they don't create that suction in there. So there we go. We'll just actually do one more little coat of here and we'll start working on the rest of it. The crab's going to be very simple. It's just red. There we go. A little messy, but it's cute. I love it. Okay, so we'll close all those and then we'll get to the red, which is going to be super easy. You know what? I forgot. I just realized I missed some of that hair. So we'll fix that very quickly in a second. But we're going to move on to the red. And I think for the red, I'm just going to do this as my light color. So I'm going to do a coat of this. It's a pretty bold red, but I like this red. And I'm just going to cover the crab. This crab is very tiny. So I'm just going to not worry too much about, I'm not going to worry too much about the shading on this one as much as possible. And then the darker color, we can just go for a really dark red here, which is like an R17, if I have that. I have a 1.8. No, that's too much blending. 1.7. So, yeah, eventually it'll come. You just have to be patient. And then we'll just do a little bit here. And then we'll just, anywhere where it's not too skinny. Yeah. So it looks a little blobby there, and then we'll just blend that one out. With my little 5 here. And we'll just get that in there. I think we need to have, I missed a step here. I missed my mid. And this is just going to, I was trying to do that little trick that Sandy said with the magic where you just have to go over the lines, but that didn't work so well. So we'll do it like that. And then we'll just go back with my 05 and just go over there. So there's my nice bright red crab. I like this. Okay. Now, not to take any time, I'm just going to quickly go over this spot here. I kind of know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my lines here. We'll just do this very quickly to fix that, because we definitely don't want to have any white here. And most of this is going to be covered anyways. Like it's kind of like really shadowed. So it's kind of easy to do that. There we go. So when you're not in a rush, you can see that it kind of blends because I'm rushing it. I'm not taking my time, so it kind of bleeds. But If you take your time, this stuff doesn't happen as much. It's because I'm rushing. She's really coming. Thanks, Meg. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Okay. Now, I haven't used my other color here, but I might use that part of the skin. Actually, I might as well just do that now. So I'll get away with that. The skin's going to be this color. So this will be my lightest color. And I'll just coat the whole thing just so I have an underlaying coat to work with. Making sure I don't miss anything. I think I missed, I'm going to say it's right in there. So there we go. Now to get my skin colors, I'm going to do a very basic one. Let's see if I have them. 03 or 34. Okay. Trying to find my 3-4. Is that it? There it is. So we'll go with our dark color. I'm going to do a 3-4 down here. And this is going to be just in those darker areas. Shading. I'm going to put a little bit underneath the nose. It's going to look silly. Down here on the sides. In the ear. Just following inside the ear. This will make it so that it's a little bit deeper. I'm going to have some coming down the side. A little bit here. Anywhere there's like the folds, so her arms kind of go up. So we're going to kind of just do in those little crevices. And like that. And then we'll just work our way down to the different colors using Olo's scale. So OR3, 2. No, that's not what I want to use. Do I? I think that's too light. So we'll switch it to an OR7-3. This one I feel is a little bit next step-ish. It has like a little bit more of a brown, darker color. And we'll work our way. All I'm doing is I'm going over just slightly more than what's already there. So it's spreading because the ink is like really juicy, but really I'm just going over those lines. Just going over exactly where I had already gone over. And then I'll do the same thing with O1. I'm just working my way, adding another line over top, slightly extending it, not trying to extenuate it more than slight. Oh, I also wanted to say, I keep mentioning, say happy birthday to Jamie. It's her birthday today. She was live streaming earlier, the first one this morning. So if you haven't had a chance to say happy birthday, it is her birthday today. And she is at a restaurant looking at airplanes, if I understood that correctly. It's not exactly like that. I'm making it sound more fun. It's a restaurant at the airport with the windows open and you can see the airplanes. I love it. I would love seeing that. I love airplanes, watching them fly. Okay, and you can kind of see where the shading is coming, and I'm going to make sure there's a little bit here too. In the ears, I'm going to go outside of the ears just to give it a little bit of texture, and we'll work way in, but I still haven't really gone on the outside because that is where, and I forgot to do the face. I got carried away talking about restaurants and birthdays. So we'll go back and do the face. But there you can see how my brain works. It's so frustrating, but it is what it is. Like really frustrating that I keep forgetting things and I keep getting distracted. But we get there in the end. Now, because I'm not going to be using my darkest color on the nose, I'm going to start halfway down my colors so that when it's blended, it will look like it's shaded, but it's at the top, because it's going to be darker than the rest, but not as dark as the layer behind, if that makes sense. And I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm just going to color just a bit of the nose. So there's going to be a little bit of a highlight at the top. And that would be my OR1, which is the foundation that I started with. I'm going to go over that, and I'm going to go over this one again. And I'm going to go over this again. And that's pretty much at a fast pace, not listening to music, not taking my time. That's how you do it. Okay. And then I realize there's some skin in here. So what I'm going to do is, oh, this is going to be scary. This hopefully will not bloop on me. I'm going to try to get in there. This is very daring with my dark color, and just color that in. I do need to figure out what color to do these scallop shells in the necklace. So while I fix this stuff up, I'll let you guys tell me, should I do it with the dark blue? Should I do it with a yellow, like the beads? Let me know while I fix up this nose and make it a little bit more pronounced. Try to tag my name so I can see it from the distance. I'm just going to fix up this nose. I'm going to add my 07 right here. Just giving it a little bit of darkness. And then we'll blend that out. But the thing I wanted to show you from most of all, it's not just the coloring itself, because we all have different skills, we all have different styles, so it doesn't really matter about the coloring itself. It's randomly picking, or quote unquote randomly, picking colors and working with them. So like this, I had no plans to use these colors today. I waited until about 10 minutes while there was left until I went live, and then I picked the colors. So that's what it really helps you, force you to kind of to play with those colors that you have in your stash, right? And so sometimes we gravitate to the same colors, and this is kind of a nice way. And there's lots of ways of doing it. There is lots of palettes, like color cubes. They're out there. There's another one, I can't remember the name. Lynn would know, she has it. Ziggy or Zazzle, or I'm not sure. Or you could just find them online in Pinterest and stuff. Blue and pink shells. Okay. But definitely play with it. Have fun. Just really have fun with the colors that you have. I think I am almost done. So let me quickly finish this. So someone said blue and pink shells. Okay, well, let's see if we can quickly do this. So I think I have until 11:15. Is that right? So I'm going to do a little light blue here. And then I'm going to grab a really light red, because that's technically the colors that we're working with. So I can grab like an R2. So we're doing red. So let's do like an R3. So hopefully this is light enough. So we're still sticking to the same colors. There's the red, just lighter version. There's the blue, just a lighter version. And we'll just kind of blend these together to create just a different style. And then to really make it stand out, I'll take my dark blue here. Was it the blue 6? And I'm going to be very cautious. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go in and go along the line. And then I'm going to take my dark red that I had and follow that same line but into the red. There we go. And then because that's a little bit stark, I'm just going to blend that back out on both sides, but not going all the way up. I'm just going to go a little bit up. Now this is very tiny spots. So you don't need to go too much in details like that because it's very small. But when we go into that, it kind of turns into purple. So we got a little bit of red in that the shells. You know what? And just for making it nice and quick, we'll just make this pearls yellow. Why not? Okay, so that's perfect. I love this. This is really, really cute. What I did with the other ones, all I did was I grabbed a color that was kind of following those lines. So I'd say the opposite of blue, and that would be kind of an orange. So all I would do is I would just take, and I wouldn't do this if I was going to be cutting it out, but because I'm not going to be cutting out, what I would do is I would take, for example, an 012, and then I would just fill it in. This is all I did. This is kind of fun just to practice making just fun backgrounds. It doesn't mean anything. It's not like it's, I'm going to go over these fish too because fish are orange today. And this is nice and relaxing because it doesn't matter what you color over. You're just kind of making a mess. You know what? You work so hard trying to stay inside the lines for, what was it, 45 minutes? And this is almost over. So Lynn will be moving everyone over to Meg. So definitely check that out very soon. But as I was saying, I think she'll put the link in there too if it doesn't. You work so hard for 45 minutes trying to stay in. It's like when you're driving and you're stuck in traffic and all of a sudden there's like this openness. You kind of want to speed just for like 2 minutes just to get that slowness out of you. Well, that's how I feel when I'm coloring this. And then what I did was I can take my other markers and I just make, in the same family, just add dots. And then when that's done, you could do that in many different colors. And then what I do is I also take my lightest color, because that one wasn't as light. Yellow, orange, 2-2, let's say. And then I could just go over it again. Sort of the same, but you're going over the lines and you're really hugging in to make sure you get all that white, and then you get that two-tone. So make sure that it's a color that works. And once again, it doesn't matter. It's all, just go over the whole thing. And if you're not perfect, then it kind of creates that. And there we go. And I think we're done. So thank you so much. I know I went over. Definitely go to Meg's. If you haven't been redirected already. And that's it. So I will close when I see no one else is here. But there we go. It's a little messy, but I was stressed, shaky hands, and not being patient. But she is fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much. I think we're done. I'm just sitting here waiting. Yeah.